This presentation is focused on small businesses and entrepreneurship. Either way, you're the owner or the creator of either one. It is launching new ventures or buying into an existing one. Either way, the survival is totally up to you as the owner. The advantages of ownership of your own businesses is the greater financial gains. You can always work for somebody else, but that's just only existence. Forbes magazine annual list that 400 of the richest Americans is entrepreneurs. The independence you gain from this is being your own boss and by starting your own business, and that you answer to nobody. The flexibility of it is that you can set your own hours and control your schedule. And given current technology, that you can make this endeavor a lot more successful, keeping up with today's technologies. The flexibility of it is that you can set your own hours, call your own shots. And when it comes to challenges, of course, everybody enjoys a good challenge. And knowing that when you meet this goal, that you can go on to your next challenge, and it is self-rewarding. As far as survival of it, it is totally up to you. And what you put into it is what you will get out of it. As an entrepreneur, you have to be self-motivated. You have to be highly motivated. Keep your mind on your task. You got to be confident in every decision that you make and know that it is the right decision as long as it is an educated one. But you got to be able to be a risk taker also, because face it, we didn't get where we at now without taking risk of what we've done. You got to be self-disciplined. You got to be able to get yourself up, get yourself there on time, ahead of everybody. Leadership is done by examples, and you got to have the mindset of being out to change the world with whatever your idea is, and that you know that you will be successful at it, and that's coming in with the confidence. As far as being an entrepreneur, you have to have vision. You have to know where you're going. You got to set your goals. You got to be self-reliant. Don't depend on anybody, but depend on only yourself. You got to have the energy to follow through with your decisions and the confidence to make them. And as far as tolerance and uncertainty, well, you have to be able to change with whatever comes about. You cannot be uncertain about anything. And tolerance of failure, you have to be able to accept that and pick up the pieces and start over if you have to, but learn from your mistakes. As far as entrepreneurship in world economies, it ensures new ideas. New technologies come from necessities when people do what they have to do. There's 400 million entrepreneurs in 54 foreign economies. This has brought about a lot of new technologies in the world, ways of doing things, and entrepreneurship is higher in a lower income country known as necessity entrepreneurship, because we all know that necessity is the mother of all inventions. When it comes to financing your endeavor, there's different resources you can go to. Personal resources, whether it's your own pocketbook, family or friends, or somebody that you can find to finance your endeavor. You got bank loans. You can always go to Small Business Administration. Then you have angel investors who is always willing to invest in new ideas. And you have venture capital that are willing to invest, but sometimes they just want part ownership of it also. But you have to decide that before you ask for any kind of loans or ownership of your own company, whatever you're willing to give up. Opportunities as far as small businesses has developed in technology that will make you competitive with larger conglomerates and companies that will put you in a market niche to where they may not want to be in, but where you can be profitable. As far as personal customer service, as a small business, you can cater to the customer a lot easier with personal service. And small businesses have lower overhead costs depending on the size of your company and your workforce. And you can also specialize in whatever business you're in closer to give them a more customized product. And with this, you have a higher risk of failure, though, because you're not well known. Lack of knowledge and experience in your particular product might be detrimental to you. You may not have enough money to have enough overhead to keep running. You have a bigger regulatory burden as far as getting your business off the ground. And of course, since you ain't got as many employees in your group, you might have a higher health insurance cost. When starting your small business from scratch, you have to weigh your pros and cons. You got to have your concept, your decision, structure, and managing as your pros. The cons is the time that you have involved in this decision and starting it. Financing, finding out where you're going to get your capital to start it. The pressure that's on you and from your competitors. And then, of course, you got credit from your lenders and suppliers that you may not have well established. This also can hurt your starting up business. In buying a business, the lenders are lending on established reputable business, which they might well know themselves. Your structure and practices are established, and you already have relationships with your suppliers and your customers. Cons is pending lawsuits might follow the buying of the business. Reputation might be damaged by the way the business was handled before, and you might inherit the old mistakes from employees that had worked on the force before. In franchising, you also have pros and cons. Your pros being ownership, you own it yourself, of a well-known brand, and of course management, operating consultants come with a franchising package. You have a lower failure rate than a startup business. Cons is that franchise requirements are restrictive and sometimes very costly. If a franchisor suffers their name, then also your business will suffer too. Cost of initial price plus % of sales royalty can dig deep into your own pockets, where it may not be beneficial for you. When deciding on your endeavor, you have to decide what product or service you're going to offer. You got to know who you're going to target to as far as your customers. You got to need a complete financial and data plan, a marketing strategy, and personnel to run this. And you also got to analyze your competition to know what you're up against. This will give you a full strategic plan in starting your business. In 2009, 99.9% of businesses had fewer than 500 employees per company. 7% of the population ran businesses without employees, and small businesses generated half of the gross domestic product. Small businesses provide jobs to private workforces. This ain't gonna work, but over 500,000 businesses start up with employees each year, and half of those stay viable within 5 years. And of course, patents that produced are 13% more than larger counterparts, and those patents are found to be in the top 1% the highest impact patents. Oh well, I went 2 minutes.